In this video, we're going to dive into 300 peace dollars comes walking in the shop. Common date about the condition you see on my screen. About that. So you guys know and girls know what I'm really talking about. You know, very good grade. Maybe get up to an extra fine grade. Somewhere right around there. Probably not too many extra fines. They're very good. Very fine. I wouldn't even say extra fine with these grades here. So that is the baseline for the video. I also want to get into what happened. We're going to back up 100 years. We're going to go to 1925. Right? I want to talk briefly about 1925 as well. So please like the video, share the video out. If you're not yet subscribed, don't forget we got the pinback giveaway coming up as well. We're going to talk about that very briefly as well in the video. Guy comes in, says, I need some help with this bag in my trunk. He says, I had the neighbor help me. The neighbor couldn't come with me. He says, I just can't lift it. You know, the guy was an older gentleman, I understood. So we went out there and grabbed the bag for him. Didn't know what was in the bag at the time. And I said, what's in the bag, sir? He said, well, they're all peace dollars. He says, there's 300 of them in there. I'm like, okay. So we put them all through the Sigma. Everything passed. No problems there. And I says, I have a guy that's willing to buy 100 right off the bat. So I'll be able to pay you a little bit more for at least 100 of them. I had another guy chime in the shop. And he says, I'm not trying to butt in really. He says, are you interested in selling some to me after you sell them to him? After he sells them to you? I said, absolutely. That's not a problem. I said, how much are you looking to get? I said. And I'm trying to help this other customer out as well who's selling them for a better price on more of them. So he says, can I look through them real quick? So I asked the customer who was selling them, I said, you mind if he looks through some of these? He says, no, I don't mind. So I let him look through them. And he says, I'll take 50. He says, they're good grades. He says, I'll take 50 of them. So, all right, let me deal with him. And I said, I'll come back and deal with you. Call the other person who was looking for them. Done deal. So what we did was 150 of them. We did melt plus $1.50 for the first 150. The ones that we could just get right out the door that same day, today. The other ones we did melt plus $1. Seller was very happy with that price. And I asked him, I said, just let you know, you don't have to answer this next question I'm going to ask you. I said, why are you selling for? So I'm going to be honest with you. He says, I've tried to let my family know about silver and gold. Let my grandchildren about silver and gold. And I said, then that led me into the next question. I said, how old are your grandchildren? He says, oh, they're 18, 22, and 25. They don't want nothing to do with silver and gold. He says, so there's no sense of me leaving it to them. I'm out to enjoy the money myself. He says, the heck with them. That's what he said, the heck with them. And it comes to a point is, okay, you know, he says, I got these for a lot less than you're offering me for. He said, I was picking these up for $8, $9 a piece back in the day. He said, I just saved them and saved them and saved them. That's the point about silver and gold, folks. You know that. That's why I'm asking you to help me share this out. Share this video out. Because he has held on to his value all these years. And it's a shame that a lot of people are not awake yet. It's really a shame. These are beautiful coins. They're beautiful coins. And the guy who was selling to us, he said, you didn't have to pay me that extra 50 cents per coin. I said, no, I didn't. But I said, when we can make a fast flip like that, we're going to try to help every single customer with a little bit more. We make a little bit less. I understand that. Okay? The shop makes, not me personally, the owner makes a little bit less. He's okay with it. Because it helps other customers out who's buying it too on that flash flip. That other guy who was in the store did not really try to butt in at all. He was very respectful of the sale, and he got a better price as well. He waited his turn. He got his 50, and he got a better price. He saved himself 50 cents a coin. Look, there's ways to do business inside the coin shop when another customer is selling too, you know. Should have he waited? Maybe. But, I didn't really think he was stepping on our toes. He was not trying to ask the customer, I'll give you more. He was nothing like that. All right? So I want to make that crystal clear. So the seller was saying, my family don't want him. And it's just too bad. And he says, the heck with it. I'm just going to go ahead and spend the money what I want spend it on, and I'm not going to leave him the cash. Just not going to do it. I said, you sure you want to sell them all at once, though? He says, I'll tell you why I'm selling them all right now. He says, this is only the silver and gold I have. He says, I'm 84 years old. He's got stage 3 cancer. And he says, I don't know how long I'm going to be around for. He says, so I'm going to go live it up. So I wish the guy well. I told him that. I said, there's anything we can do for you here? I said, let us know if you want to come and shoot the crap one day, come talk. I says, we're here for you. And he appreciated that. So let's go back. A lot of these coins are from the 20s, as you folks may know. 1924, 1923, 1922. In the 20s, these were minted. But I'm going to take you 100 years back. Okay? I'm going to take you 100 years. Before I do that, before we go 100 years back in time, don't forget to check out channel sponsor Pinbacks.com. They have great prices, my friends. Let Michael and Brian know, the two owners of Pinbacks, the two brothers that own the company that Coin Shop Chris sent you. Do they always have the best prices? No. At least they'll admit that. I'll admit that too to you. But a lot of times, yes, they do have the best prices. Don't forget about the Pinbacks coming up on July 4th. Ollie told me they're going to send me a roll of silver quarters to me to give away. I'm adding another $3.35 and 90% silver as well. All right, there's going to be 6 half dollars, 1 quarter, and 1 dime. One lucky winner is going to win everything. I'll be posting a video about 10 days before the 4th of July. And that way everybody has a chance to sign up for it. So one of the rules is you got to be subscribed, though. All right, so if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe key now. Hit the all bell. Make sure the bell is in black for all. You get notified every time I put out the latest video. And you get a chance to win the next giveaway. This is over 9 ounces of silver, my friends. Over 9 ounces of silver. Everybody's got a shot to win. Just come and subscribe. Let your friends, let your family know. Come subscribe to Coin Shop Chris. You know what? If someone don't like 90% silver, get one of your friends to subscribe and enter the contest, they can give it to you, right? They could give it to you. I mean, I understand not everybody on the channel has the passion of 90% silver as a lot of us do. That's okay. That's okay. The point is, you still got the chance to win. Thank you, channel sponsor Pinbacks, for sponsoring Coin Shop Chris. Thank you to the viewer out there, because it's not possible without you folks. You watching me, Pinbacks is not possible. It's not possible without you guys watching to do these giveaways as well. So thank you to you, the ones who are watching all my videos. Let's go back in time to 1925. The average pay in 1925 was $5,425 per year. That works out to be about $108 a week. People were doing okay with $108 back in to the 1925. You know, before I show you the next, I got one more card here, but before I do that, I'm going to talk about, 1925. Most people, how they got paid was cash. They had a white envelope, payday comes, the management, or the owners of the company, people stood in line for the pay. And you got to keep in mind how 1925 was. There was not a lot of banks back then. So people would not have like a store credit at the drugstores. Maybe their little supermarket, a little tab. They didn't hang on to a lot of their cash. They went to go take that money, go pay the tabs bill. It's like a bill, like you get in the mail today. But the stores actually gave you a tab and you say, I'll pay at my next tab. Or maybe it was a bar tab or whatever. No, people didn't keep a lot of money around. But people were able to survive and live pretty gosh darn good off $108 a week. About 108. Yeah, that math is right about that. But if we look at today now, that $5,425 in today's money, that'd be equivalent to $98,968. Don't believe me? Google it. Google how much people made in 1925. The average, and it's going to tell you in today's money, it's $98,968. Well, I'm not even close to $98,000. So that tells me that people were living better back in 1925 with even less money because stuff was made here. We didn't have all this corporate greed. What does this tell you? Your dollar has lost value. Back in 1925, these were worth $1. To melt value is over $25 today. What is that telling you? Your fiat currency is garbage. I don't know how much more to say that. I mean, 100 years later, and if you kept a dollar bill, kept paper back then, you would need $25, $24 and somewhat cents more to keep up with inflation, my friends. You had these, somebody in your family had these and passed them down to you. You got the same buying power today than your relatives back in 1920s. Well, let's go to 1925 since we're on the 1925 kick right now. That is the purchasing power lost with the dollar. I don't know what's more to say about that. I'm trying to show examples after examples that your dollar is trash. Think about it. I mean, how many of us, you don't have to say if you're making more or less than this. I'm not asking that. But how many of you are really making more than $98,000 a year? Plus, medium average in the United States is right around $43,000, a little bit over that. And that information comes off of the U.S. debt clock. About $43,000 a year, the median income is in this country. So the dollar has lost more value, and we're paying more and more of the same service and goods than people did back in 1925, and they lived a heck a lot better back in 1925 and we do today. Yeah, there's more stuff to do. There's more stuff to buy today, but everything costs us so much. I'm just talking about the basics, my friends. Only in a home. Now, I understand was not a lot of traffic in 1925 with cars and stuff like that. People walked a lot. They dressed a lot better back in 1925. Yeah, they were more covered up too back in 1925. People had respect for one another. People were honest back then. You had a tab to pay. People went to go pay the tabs off as soon as they got paid. Going to the grocery store, going to the barber, going to the bar and paying off your tabs. It was an honor system back then. Today, everybody's out there rushing around, worried about themselves, me, myself, and I, and could give a rat's behind about anybody else. This is what we've become. And everybody's worried about that paper dollar that's pretty much, you can use it as toilet paper, because that's what it really is. It's not even worth the paper it's printed on. Now, if you go buy a pack of Monopoly money, that sells for about $5 to $10 itself. Think about that. You're buying paper. Why not trade some more paper, fiat currency, into real money, which is silver and gold? And why not do it with Pinbacks, your local coin shop? Build relationships with your local coin shops. Said that before on this channel as well. Build a relationship with Michael and Brian at Pinbacks as well. You never know. You just never. The more people you know in this business that sells silver, gold, and platinum, the better off you're going to be. Get to know your local coin shops. That's a must. Get to know them in there. Shop around. Get yourself the best prices. Sometimes it's not always about the best prices, it's about the best customer service you can get. And sometimes that's going to be at your local coin shops. And I believe the best online dealer, without any really, they got competition. But how many online bullion dealers are you going to be able to find and talk to the owners themselves? Not too many. I've asked that question before. The only time that you're probably going to talk to another online bullion dealer, management or the owner themselves, is when you probably have a problem. Maybe that's when they will reach back to you. Yes, I understand some people know Andy Sheckman. People have reached out to him as well. That's another one. But really, there's no other online bullion dealer out there that you're going to be able to call right off the bat and speak to the owners themselves. And if you don't get Michael and Brian right off the bat, you can ask for them. Give me your first name, give me your phone number, and they will call you back. If you have trouble getting through the phone lines, just email them. Your first name and your phone number. They will call you back. Let them know that Coin Shop Chris sent you. If you want to say Crazy Coin Shop Chris, I'm sure they will get a kick out of it, right? But the point being is, your dollar is dying. I've shown proof of that. People laugh. Oh, the dollar ain't going away. We live in the best country in the world. Nothing's going to happen to the dollar. Then why is it costing us more money today, more paper fiat currency, than it did 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 100 years ago, 6 months ago? You get the drift. You get the drift. Over the years, but this has kept up with inflation. For the most part. It's just the truth. It's not because silver and gold has gone up in value. It's your dollar is the garbage pail. You folks have any questions for me about silver, gold, or platinum, reach out to me. I'm always happy to help you out. I'm going to keep you updated what's going on at the shop, of course. Thank you for watching. Coin Shop Chris is out. We will see you tomorrow.